Hey everyone, in this video we're going to be talking about some of the differences between living in Oakland versus Berkeley. They're both in the East Bay, they border each other. Is there really that big of a difference between the two cities? Let's find out. First of all, Oakland is much bigger. Oakland's about 78 square miles and has a population of 440,000, where Berkeley is about 18 square miles and has a population of around 125,000. They both have a flatter, more urban area and a hilly, more residential area. There is a downtown Berkeley, but it's nothing like downtown Oakland. The buildings aren't nearly as tall. It feels more just like the center of a neighborhood rather than the downtown of a city. Oakland definitely has a more urban feel to it, where Berkeley just feels like a big neighborhood. Berkeley is more expensive than Oakland. Here's a heat map of Oakland and Berkeley. The heat map is showing price per square foot, and you can just see in general that Berkeley has a much higher price per square foot. That's what the darker colors mean. And not only is Oakland have a lower price per square foot, but you can see there's quite a bit of difference between different parts of Oakland. So right over here, it's pretty expensive, around $1,000 per square foot. And once you start heading east and south, it's closer to $500 or $600 a square foot. Price per square foot is not a perfect metric by any means, but it gives you a nice general idea. And the really dark section right here is actually not Oakland, it's Piedmont, which is probably the most expensive city in the East Bay. Oakland and Berkeley both vary in vibe and feel of the neighborhood quite a bit from one section to the other, but I would definitely say Oakland has a wider range of neighborhoods, and some are sought after more so than others. Both Berkeley and Oakland have a lot of green space and nature areas. I would say Joaquin Miller and Reinhardt Regional Forest are the big draws of Oakland, and they have, the big redwood trees, the really foresty feel to it. Prefer that to the Tilden areas of Berkeley. Tilden has some trees, but it's a little bit more exposed and it has really nice views of the bay. For me, I prefer the woods in Oakland just due to the tall redwood trees, and I feel like peak Bay Area nature is standing in the middle of the redwoods with the fog rolling in. However, Berkeley has the marina, and Berkeley also has a sailing club where you can learn to sail for, I think it's a couple $100s a year to join the club. It's probably one of the cheapest places in the world to learn how to sail. So if you're into that, then that's definitely a big plus of Berkeley. If you prefer more woodsy area, you might like Oakland a little bit better. And if you prefer more water activities and looking at the ocean, then you might like Berkeley a little bit better. The food is really good in both Berkeley and Oakland. I would say that it's splitting hairs, and one is not necessarily better than the others, but let's talk grocery stores. Many people would say Berkeley Bowl is the greatest grocery store in the Bay Area, and I am a huge fan. The produce selection there is unlike anything I've ever seen before. Oakland, in my opinion, the best grocery store is Farmer Joe's, and Farmer Joe's is kind of like a less corporate Whole Food. For me, on a day-to-day basis, I prefer going into Farmer Joe's. There's less lines, a good selection of everything you need. Berkeley Bowl has more exotic ingredients, so if you're looking for a really specific ingredient, you're probably more likely to find it at Berkeley Bowl. It's easier to get from one part of Berkeley to another just due to its smaller size. However, it's easier to get from Oakland to other parts of the Bay Area. So you can see how no matter where you are in Oakland, you're pretty close to a highway. So you have 580 running right through the middle, you have 880 over here, and then Highway 13 and Highway 24 are all fast moving roads. Berkeley only has 580 and 80 running together right here on the west side. While it looks like Highway 13 and 123 are running through Berkeley, they are actually just normal roads and you don't move very fast on them. In addition to highways, you have BART stations, and you can see that Berkeley only has 3 BART stations where Oakland has 9. 80 always has traffic on it. Almost all parts of the day there's traffic on 80. And Oakland, sure, it has traffic during rush hours or if there's an accident, but 80 just seems to be backed up all the time. That can be a little bit frustrating living in Berkeley. Traffic is moving quite a bit faster in Oakland, so there's faster speed limits, more highways, and so it's not quite as bike friendly as Berkeley is. Berkeley has slow residential streets for the most part, so it's a lot safer and easier to ride a bike through Berkeley than it is in Oakland. People ride bikes in Oakland all the time, but the cars around them are usually moving quite a bit faster than in Berkeley. If you commute to work, you might enjoy living in Oakland a little bit better, just a little bit easier to, again, leave and enter the city. If you work from home or work in Berkeley, then living in Berkeley is really nice. It has everything you need. You don't need to leave the city, and if you're into biking or walking, it's a really friendly city towards those activities. Berkeley is a city that is built around a university, and it feels like that. You see a lot of college students walking around. Education is highly prioritized there, and you see that in their school system. Oakland feels more like a city, where Berkeley feels more like a college town. While this video is just scratching the surface, hopefully it gives you a starting point to decide whether Oakland or Berkeley is a better fit for you. If you have any questions, reach out. My contact information is in the description below. If you want to watch a video about where to live in the entire East Bay, watch this video here. And if you want to see a video on Oakland versus San Francisco, watch this video here. See you next time.